All right, we are live. Awesome. We'll wait a minute while everybody joins in. Let's see here.
Wonderful. This is exciting.
Yeah, this will be fun.
For sure.
Let's see here. All right, so we're live in the group.
Awesome.
It's working right. Okay, and if anybody is watching, make sure to put in #live in the comments, #replay if you're watching the replay later. Let's see. Make sure we're here. Computer's, of course, taking a little bit of its time
It always does.
to get
It
me.
doesn't ever work on time.
Right? It's when you need it to. That's when it wants to take its time. Okay, let's see. Go. Good there. Good there. Okay. And let's see. All right, so we should be good.
All right.
So we'll just jump right into it. I know
Great.
Jumping on as we go. So Evan, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Of course. First and foremost, Matt, thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it. My name is Evan Kaplan. I am a 17-year veteran of the mortgage industry. Currently, I manage the branch of prime lending over in Northville, Michigan, where there's a few loan officers. I'm the production manager, and I produce as well. So that's who I am.
Okay, so you're over like a bunch of different mortgage officers as well as being a mortgage officer yourself.
Of course, yes. We offer a wide variety of programs, the whole spectrum, ranging from FHA to conventional, USDA, VA. So I'm in charge of course, my pipeline, and then assisting all the loan officers at my branch as well, making sure that they're successful, that they're set up well with their marketing, and help them in their marketing endeavors to make sure that they can run their business in a smooth and successful way.
Makes sense. So obviously real estate agents are probably a big part of being able to be a successful mortgage officer, right?
Oh, without a doubt. One of the biggest parts. Huge, especially in a raising market environment like now. Even this week, refinance applications are down 2.5%.
Oh, wow.
So refinances are not always going to be there. People don't want to get rid of their 3.5%, 4% interest rate to take something at 4.75% or at 5% unless they absolutely have to. So right now, purchase season is huge for lenders. If you're not busy, you're not doing something right. And taking care of realtors and making sure that those clients are taken care of is the biggest, really the biggest opportunity for loan officers in the summer.
Makes sense. And I mean, kind of what we were bringing you on here today is because real estate agents, a lot of them are unaware that they can partner with a lender and get some or most of their marketing covered so that they can generate more leads.
Absolutely. It's tough. Lenders, most of the time when I get a client, that client's attached to a realtor.
Right.
So that's a partnership that I'm trying to foster. So the easiest way for me to partner with realtors, the easiest way for me to help them is to help pay for Zillow leads. So as a lender, I have the ability to pay, up to a certain percentage of their Zillow leads. And then they can go out and use that money to go buy these leads from Zillow to help themselves, to work them. But of course, when you're contributing to marketing, you have to make sure that you're working with someone that you like. It has to be that way on both sides. As a lender, I have to like the realtor I'm working with, and the realtor has to like me. If that partnership isn't there, if that friendship isn't there, it's hard to make it work in business, because there are many times where a realtor may want a pre-approval at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And if your lender is not willing to be doing that for you, then they're not really a partner. They might be a partner in money only, but they're not really a partner in helping you grow your business.
Right.
So when you're looking for someone to market with, it's easy to find a lender who will contribute money. But to find someone that will really partner with you to help you grow your business, to show you how to take it to the next level, that's totally different.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And especially, I've been there so many times where we go out and see a house, and it's one of those ones that just hit the market. It's last minute, and of course, because it just hit the market, we're going to end up in multiple offer situation.
Yep.
And it's 8:30 at night from a lead that I haven't heard from in 6 months, and they don't have their pre-approval ready to go.
Yeah. And so who you call, right? You call your lender.
Yeah.
And if your lender doesn't pick up, if your lender is busy, if your lender is not going to give you that opportunity, then that's too bad. Then you lost out on that income. Your client lost out on that opportunity to buy that house. And that lender really lost out on an opportunity to wow a client, on an opportunity to, really solidify that relationship with that realtor and really grow their business as well. So, I mean, look, in our industry, that you really work 24/7, 7 days a week. There's no time off. You might be on vacation, but there's no time off.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so you mentioned it's really easy to find a lender who's willing to pay for marketing. I guess what are some of the things what are some of the steps you'd have to take to go find a lender who's willing to help you pay for marketing? Like, and how would you approach that lender?
So different lenders, have different approaches, or different lenders. There's different ways to finesse each lender.
Mhm.
Some lenders just want the opportunity to buy leads.
Right.
They may not like buying leads from other sources because, of course, as a lender, I always have sources where I can buy leads from.
Okay.
But the easiest way to approach somebody is find out if they're willing to co-market. Find out if they're willing to go and do open houses with you. Find out if they're willing to do appreciation nights for your clients and for their clients. Because
Okay.
it's not just that Zillow marketing. Meaning, last week I worked an open house with a realtor with this group that I partner with, and that was an opportunity for me to go and sit in an open house and
Mhm.
speak to someone for 2 hours. And it was an opportunity for me to understand who they were and develop that relationship so that the next time we have a common client, it's a very nice relationship. It's an easy flow. And I was able to bring cookies. I was able to bring drinks.
Mhm.
So it's not always just paying for that Zillow, but when you pay for that Zillow, it opens the opportunity for me as a lender to also help out realtors in other ways.
Well, I didn't even
Um,
think about that. Like the open house. I mean, how many times have I been in an open house? Well, I guess I'm asking you, right? I should know this. But how many times have I been in an open house and you get 3, 4, 5 clients in, and I can't talk to them all? I can't even make sure that I'm getting them all to sign in.
well, how
So
many times have you been in an open house and you pay for all this food and people don't show up?
yeah,
Like, it'd
exactly.
just be nice to have someone else pay for the food. It'd be nice to have someone else pay for the flyers.
Hmm.
It'd be nice to have someone else just help set up. There's always that opportunity that if you are going to have a relationship, if someone only wants to pay for Zillow, fine. Let them only pay for Zillow.
Hmm.
You can throw them some bones. But I never look for that in a relationship. I look for someone that I can grow with, someone that I can help, someone that wants to go golfing with me, someone that wants to go to lunch with me, someone that wants to go network with
Right.
me, someone that wants to help me grow my business as much as I want to help them, because there's definitely plenty of business to go around for everybody. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of finding the right people that are in the right mindset with you to help you grow.
And so you're saying that like the co-marketing, and is that the word that you would use is co-marketing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you're asking lenders, you would want to, approach them. Hey, are you open to co-marketing?
Correct. To me,
Okay.
Zillow is just one small piece.
Right.
If I'm only helping someone with Zillow, I mean, I spent as a lender, I mean, I don't want anyone to, I spent a small company, right, that likes rockets, but I
Right.
spent 12 years with them. But in those 12 years, that means that I made a lot of dials. I made a lot of phone calls. There were days, there were months and years where I was making 100+ phone dials a day, outbound, inbound calls on the phone 6, 7 hours a day. I know how to work a lead.
Yeah.
And there are realtors out there that don't realize how quickly that if you buy Zillow leads, how quickly you have to act upon it, how
Right.
quickly you have to call that lead, how you have to be willing to call it 3, 4, 5 times a day for a week, 7, 10, 12 days straight.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be other people who will get that lead. They're going to put their information out there.
Right.
So as a lender myself, when someone wants me to partner with Zillow, I have to make sure that they know how to work a lead as well, because it can't just be me working the lead. It can't
That
just
makes
be me
sense.
working, 30, 40 leads a day for somebody, trying to get them approved. It has to be a joint attack to where the realtor as well as the loan officer are both trying to reach the client with the common goal of finding them the perfect home.
Okay. And that makes sense. And I guess part of what I was getting out of that is that it's not just Zillow, like you said. It's the co-marketing, it's the open house. Well, and again, where I was going with that open house story is I'm overwhelmed with people. And if I have
Mm-hmm.
a mortgage officer there who knows how to close people, like he can be grabbing deals for me at the same time.
Yep.
You know?
Selling
It,
is selling. It doesn't matter what you're selling.
right. So
I'll
if you've
sell a
got,
house. I don't need that commission. I just want the opportunity to talk to that client and get that loan.
makes sense. Makes sense. And so now this isn't illegal in any way, because I know that's one of the misconceptions is that a lender can't pay for things, right?
Nope.
This is not
Zillow
illegal.
is completely on the up and up.
Mhm.
Different companies have, different overlays, let's say,
Mhm.
or different ways to pay for Zillow. Most companies allow a lender, or Zillow allows a lender up to pay up to 50%
Mhm.
of a realtor spend.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that some of these super teams can't have two or three lenders and have them pay their entire Zillow budget. That's completely legit,
And before
as
we go
long as
before we go
each
to
lender is paying
Zillow,
1/3.
as long as each lender's paying 1/3. Okay.
Correct. So
Now,
one lender could not be paying 51%.
mhm.
One lender could be paying 49, and the other two could be at 25.
Okay.
It just
Okay.
can't be more than 50% in order for it to be on the up and up
But you could have a lender pay 50% and you could have two other lenders paying 25%. And so your
and not pay
entire
anything.
marketing budget is covered.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Now,
right.
how would this work for an agent who's running Facebook ads? I've heard that it can be difficult when they're running their own ads versus when they use a company to run the ads for them.
So I guess with Facebook, it's a little bit different
Mhm.
because Facebook is not as regulated.
Right.
But there's always the opportunity as a lender. I have my own lender page
Mhm.
where I'm able to pay for my own boosts.
Right.
So if I'm partnered with a realtor, like one of my favorite things to do when I partner with a realtor, when I partner Zillow, one of the things that I also ask for is I ask that I be partnered on their listings
Okay.
because I want that opportunity to maybe attract that buyer that is not coming in from that realtor, but
Mhm.
is maybe coming else or saw that on Zillow, saw it on Facebook, saw it on Instagram, saw it somewhere else. So when I do a Zillow buy or when I am partnering with someone on Zillow, I like to partner with them on all their social media because I like to boost my posts on Facebook. And when I boost my post, it's a totally different subsection category of people that realtor may not be already intertwined with.
Okay.
So it's just another opportunity. Whereas I don't necessarily pay for Facebook ads, but I have no problem splitting them. I have
Right.
no problem saying if you want to do this, we can do this. I do. You ever see those little postcards that have the recipes on them?
Yeah.
Right. You want to target a neighborhood? I have those postcards. I can co-market with a realtor
Okay.
where we split that cost 50-50. So if there's a neighborhood where somebody is selling a whole bunch of homes, they've sold two, three, four homes in that neighborhood, and they want to market that neighborhood, let me list your home. That's
Mhm.
very easy to do. And it's very easy to split the cost with a lender because then I have that opportunity to market myself.
Okay.
So it's not always Zillow, but there's so many ways out there, especially if you're not marketing yourself now, you need to be marketing yourself. You need to
Absolutely.
be, you know, showing yourself on social media, on Instagram and on Facebook and everywhere else in order to get the attention for your listings.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I guess what are some other ways of cold marketing that you've done in the past that's been successful for the agent?
Most successful ones for the agents are these appreciation nights that I like to be a part of.
Okay.
That could be anywhere from renting out a small movie theater and having a family-run movie, like
Mhm.
Incredibles 2 that's out in the theater. When it comes to a small little local community where the tickets are only a couple of dollars, you're able to rent that out and have popcorn. That's a great way to have past clients or even prospective clients come and be with you and see that you're part of the community.
Mhm.
I have partnered with other people in the fall where we rent out a barn at a cider mill and pass out pumpkins and donuts and cider. So there's so many different ways that you can partner with somebody. It can also be um, bringing in, a speaker,
Okay.
whether that be for continuing education
Mhm.
or not. There's so many ways to partner with somebody to help you get your name out there, but also to market your clients and to find that right home for your client.
That makes sense. So with the movie theater thing, I've actually known a team that would rent out. They'd rent out a theater in a large theater. They'd just rent out
Right,
like one of them, and they did it for like all of the new Star Wars openings. It was just something that their clients knew. Like when new Star Wars comes out,
right.
like they were going to have the client appreciation parties.
It's not as expensive as you think.
Really?
Like, it really is not. It's really reasonable. And if you have a large enough team,
Hmm.
and if you have a lender that is committed to your success, it's really not that difficult to do. And if you know that you're going to do it and you can get that PR out there,
Hmm.
that's a lot of awesome
Oh yeah,
buzz that you don't get from normal traction of like a Facebook ad.
yeah. They were. I think they were in the news and everything.
Absolutely, they should be. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Um, Let me see. I know I had a couple other questions for you here, and let's see. Well, first of all, how do you find which lender you should go approach? Because, like you said, you want somebody that's going to be on your team, and obviously, not everybody can call you today.
Of course.
Oh, in what states do you lend in, by the way?
So at Prime Lending,
Hmm.
we're a bank,
Okay.
and I have the ability to lend in about 40 states,
Oh
44, I
wow.
believe. So there's not many states that I can't lend in.
Hmm.
But when it comes to finding a lender, it depends on what the realtor is looking for.
Hmm.
I like to play golf. That doesn't mean that the next that realtor wants to play golf with me.
Hmm.
They may want to go and enjoy some wine or have coffee or something else. So you really have to find someone that's going to match your interests because when you're speaking with them, when you're sitting with them at the closing table, or at least if you expect them to show up,
Right.
when you're partnering with someone, it has to be someone that you mesh with. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
It's something that if you want it to be successful, then you want it to be able to grow. You want to feel that each of you are invested in helping each other. So it is definitely a mix and match, and then you have to kind of find the right match. It's like dating almost.
Yeah.
Um, I have been partnered with many
Hmm.
huge teams in the Detroit area. That just it didn't work out.
Right.
I have been partnered with, you know, smaller offices that are one, two, three people that I've been partnered with for 4 years now. That is a great relationship because if I'm if I have a golf outing and I have one or two people that I'm looking to fill, I'm going to call this person. Or
Right.
if they're at one and they're like, okay, I know that, I got to go do this networking thing. Who do I want to bring? Let me bring Evan.
Yeah.
Then they give me a call and I'm there to support them. So when you find that partnership, then it's easy. When it's forced, when it's just about the money, rarely is it successful because then the realtor or the lender have unsuccessful or unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So you got to communicate, you got to talk early and let the lender know or let the realtor know exactly what it is that you're looking for so that there is clear communication and everyone's happy.
Yeah, and I guess speaking in the dating terms, if you tell them like you're really looking for co-marketing right off the first off the bat, is that like saying I really want to get married on the first date? Like,
I don't think that's like the big I love you right off the
right?
bat. But listen, there's nothing wrong with being, you know, upfront with somebody and telling them what you want. Like I said, if I'm going to do a Zillow co-marketing, whether this person closes 10 loans a month or one loan a month, I want more than just Zillow. I want the opportunity that If they're going to list a home, if they're going to put a sign in the yard, I want an opportunity to have a sign that says financing by Evan Kaplan at Prime Lending.
Right.
If they're going to put a Facebook post about that they're listing a home, I would like for there to be a line that says, for mortgage and financing opportunities, call Evan Kaplan with Prime Lending. And then if I boost their post with my money, then it's an added bonus for them.
Absolutely.
If they take a boost and I'm able to then, again, boost it again, just an added bonus because it's a different sphere of influence that is being shown that home that may not have been shown before.
Yeah, so it's really it's more than just the co-marketing and just the money. It's about building a two-way relationship where, I mean, tell me this, maybe you've done it, maybe you haven't, but if, let's say I was out of town and I was like, hey, I don't want to turn the leads off because we have a running campaign and it's working really well. Like, are you able to take the leads for this week while I'm out of town and convert them for me?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, the goal is to close loans.
Right.
I'm not a licensed realtor. There's probably many things I can't do.
Right.
But when it comes to at least establishing the initial talk, when it comes to seeing, if this person is approved, many times for realtors, I am I'm the gatekeeper.
Right.
Before they will get in the car, before a realtor will let them in a car with them, they need to see a pre-approval letter from me, because that realtor doesn't want to waste their time and putting someone in a car and driving them around and spending $3+ a gallon for gas if they're not ready to buy a home.
In California, it's even worse.
Right. I mean, there are some places where it could be terrible, but yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I can make a realtor's life very easy. I can give them the satisfaction of knowing that a pre-approval means that I've pulled credit. I've looked at income. I've looked at assets. I've gone over the different programs, the different, grant options if they wanted to get, a grant from the state or whatever it may be. And I'm finding them the best program in order to get them closed as quickly as possible. Because to me, time kills deals.
Right.
I'm not looking to have somebody in my pipeline very long, just like I'm sure realtors don't want clients in their cars very long. They want them at the closing table as quick as possible.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, everybody, if you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments, hashtag replay. If you're watching the replay, make sure if you're enjoying this so far that you're smashing the like button, hitting the heart button, all that fun stuff. And we're just going to keep going. So I guess my next question, I guess there's really no wrong way to approach a lender on this stuff, it sounds like.
No, just be honest.
What is the lender looking for from the agent as far as production, as far as experience, things like that, before they're going to actually consider any type of co-marketing relationship?
Sure. I guess, from a realtor standpoint, it depends on what type of business you do. If you do a lot of jumbo loans, and you want a lender who's going to specialize in jumbo products. If you do a lot of rural or VA, FHA loans, you want to make sure that your client or your lender can do those programs maybe as low as 580.
Okay.
So if your average loan size is, under 220,000, maybe you need to make sure you have a lender who knows how the grants program work and how clients can get a $7,500 grant to help with their down payment, their closing costs. Or maybe it's USDA. Like I said, as long as you have a lender that knows what they're talking about and that has the programs to help you and fit your mold, then you're okay. But if you try to put a square lender in a round hole, you're going to run into problems all the time.
Exactly. And I guess the bigger part of that, though, is it's not because even if it's jumbo or if it's FHA or VA, like if I'm a brand new agent or I'm an experienced agent, do I have an advantage or disadvantage when I'm talking to you about potentially co-marketing?
Well, of course.
I would think so, right?
Right. I mean, look, it sucks being brand new in any industry.
Right.
And I literally started my career July 9th, 2001. And it's been 17 years and almost 1 month that I've been doing this. So do you want a lender that has been in the industry for a month, 2 months, 4 months, that doesn't know the programs, that doesn't know how to resolve that problem at closing? Because as a realtor, every single one of these people watching this video has been there where there's been a problem at the closing table. And
Yeah.
either your lender is in another state, or you had no control over who that lender is,
Hmm.
or maybe they're sitting at the table and they can't resolve it. But you got to work with someone who is going to resolve those problems quickly, because if they're not, if they're new, if they don't know what they're doing, then you're throwing away their money, they're throwing away your money, no one's working the leads properly, no one is resolving the problems in a, in a fast manner. And you got to work with someone who knows what they're doing, otherwise your clients are missing out.
Absolutely. And that would be if you were talking about new lenders. Is that right?
New lenders, absolutely. There's so many programs out there.
Hmm.
There's so many changes that happened with the programs over the years that you need someone who understands those changes and can roll with the punches and has lived through it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I guess with the agent side, the agent and their experience level, um, can you give us maybe an example of like what a co-marketing package might look like from an anonymous agent you've worked with at some point or currently?
Sure. I have had uh, opportunities over my career where, like I said, some agents say, I'm just looking for $150, $200 a month, meaning they might be spending $400 a month on Zillow. And great. It's a lot of money to spend, especially as a new agent,
Hmm.
to go out and spend any money of your own on leads and to invest in yourself is always a difficult thing to do as you're starting. But
Hmm.
if someone's looking for $150, $200 a month, I'm not expecting much out of that, except maybe an opportunity to help them grow, and an opportunity that it pays off in the long run.
But you're
Uh,
open to that. Like if it was a new
Absolutely.
agent who's like, I'm new to the business, I have a feeling I'm going to close stuff. I'm only looking for $200 a month. Can you help me out?
There's always that opportunity. Someone like that, there's always got to be that chance that I can take,
Hmm.
if it's within my budget. But someone like that who says, listen, I might be brand new. I'm looking for $200 a month, but here I have someone who's looking to be pre-approved.
Right.
Well, now there's a nice big bow on top of that
Yeah.
present, right? That
Exactly.
present you're handing me is a $200, bill. But if you hand it to me with a pre-approval, and I'm like, well, let me talk to this client and see how it goes. If that's someone that I could see us closing quickly,
Hmm.
then yeah, I would have no problem getting into a relationship, because that gives us 60, 90 days to figure out if it's going to work.
So
Um,
that might be the best way to approach a lender
the best way for sure is to,
is with the
come
client.
bring in a present, bring that pre-approval. Because remember, most lenders,
Hmm.
we make a fraction of what, a realtor might make.
Right.
So our pay is a fraction of what, especially a broker owner, would walk away with
Hmm.
on their own lead. So you come bearing a little bit of a gift and a pre-approval. It always makes that loan officer look good, whoever it may be.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, how, I guess, like for somebody who's closing 1 to 2 deals a year, or I'm sorry, a month, 1 to 2 deals a month, what might they be able to achieve from a lender as far as co-marketing budget?
That's a great question. It depends on the type of program and the type of loans that lender's closing. There's different
Okay.
revenue, obviously, models for different
Yeah.
loans, whether it be VA, FHA, conventional, USDA.
Mhm.
But I
So
would
let's say
expect
it's home prices between 150, 200 FHA. That's pretty common in the Midwest.
that is pretty common. If someone's doing one, two loans, I would probably expect that, they could probably get 100, 200, maybe $300 per month in co-marketing
Okay.
for something along those lines. I mean, that's pretty reasonable at that point.
Absolutely. And if they're closing high end, obviously that's going to change. Or if they're closing a high volume, that's going to change as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if someone is closing 10, 12, if there's a big team or a super team, to get, $2,500 to $3,500 for 12 to 15 closings a month is definitely reasonable too.
Okay. Okay. So it would just, again, it goes on the volume, it goes on transaction number and the type of loan, really.
Yeah, when everyone's making money, there's more money to be spent. That's for sure.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So let me see here. I've got a few more of these questions. And if anybody else has questions, feel free to toss those in the comments and we'll make sure we get those added. If you're watching the replay later, you can still ask the questions and we'll come back to those and do our best to answer those as well. So let's see. Well, first of all, do all lenders help to cover marketing?
No.
No.
No. They're, like I said, lenders view the compliance rules differently.
Okay.
Some lenders allow their loan officers to pay up to 50%. Some only allow 30. Some don't allow any co-marketing with Zillow.
Right.
It just depends on the lender. Some people, like I said, don't like Zillow's practices. Some people don't think Zillow is beneficial, and that is an opinion that's held by some. And those companies, like I said, just don't allow it.
Okay.
So you
And with,
have to find someone that's willing to do it, of course.
right.
And that company allows it.
And with the agents more and more doing their own marketing now with things like Facebook, yeah, if somebody came to you and they're like, hey, I'm going to, I'll show you that we're spending $600 a month on Facebook leads. We're getting, 200 leads a month. Are you okay with going halfsies on that?
Absolutely.
Is that how you would bring that to the table maybe?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, with the CFPB, it's a little bit more iffy on Facebook. Not all companies, meaning there are ways that there are desk agreements that could be made where a lender might sit in the realtor's office.
Okay.
And you can get paid money that way. I could pay money. I could pay a realtor money by putting my sign in their yard. There's so many different ways that the CFPB allow us to do this marketing. Facebook's just not one that's really regulated, or at least one that I'm well versed in, where I could say that I could go and spend X amount of money on there. The ones that are legal, that are on the up and up, are the ones like Zillow or those sign agreements, those desk rentals. But even there, it's harder to make money on those because it's all metrics based off of how many hits you have, how many visitors you've had to your site, and the listings you have.
Okay, that makes sense. And you said, with the CFPB, and now can you explain the CFPB for those who don't know what that is?
Sure, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, that's who's out to protect us.
Right.
It's the government agency that gets to regulate us in the mortgage industry, and how money is spent so that, along with RESPA, kickbacks are not given in illegal ways, so that everyone can be, or at least have the opportunity to be playing on a level playing field.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And now with the agents, you said something about if they had a bunch of listings, did you say buy the signs or something?
Yeah, so I have signs, just like agents have signs when they put them in their yard, and they're listing that home. Where if they don't mind, my small little sign next to their towel one, where it could say, mortgage financing available from Evan Kaplan at Prime Lending. And it's just another opportunity for me to have my name out there, for me to brand myself, and to have a sign next to that realtor sign. So
and
I'm not, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you're renting an advertising space next to the agent's sign.
Basically, yes.
And you're paying for that.
Yes.
And so, I mean, what is there an average number that you pay to market your sign?
It depends on the listings.
Okay, it depends on the listings. How much business the agent's doing with you, I'm guessing.
It does, but there's not as much money in that as there is Zillow.
Right.
But it's those kind of things that help that budget.
So how would an agent, I guess, make sure that you were seeing a benefit of doing that? Would they would have to just send you more referrals themselves, I'm guessing, based off the sign calls and things like that, if you were buying those signs?
Yeah, it's a risk that I take, that buyer that may already be attached to another realtor drives by on a Sunday or a Saturday or whenever and says, all right, I'll give him a call. Just like that off chance that someone is driving by that house, that they're not already attached to a realtor, and they pick up the phone and dial your number because they saw your sign.
Makes
It's
sense.
that same risk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Normally, someone who's not selling their home doesn't have that sign in their yard.
Okay.
And I normally don't have that opportunity to put that sign in their yard because I don't know who's selling their home.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just piggybacking. I'm
There,
just
there was a thing a while
the tail
back
coach
about
there.
like agents. I think it was the MLS I used to be in or something, but it was like agents were allowed to put a sign in a yard, even if the house wasn't for sale, just as marketing purposes, as long as it didn't say like for sale. It was this huge thing. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I could totally see that. So
Right.
I guess when an agent wants to go find this lender,
Yes.
is there a list of lenders that are willing to co-market so that they can start relationship building, or do they
Yeah.
have to cold call, or should they ask for a referral? What's the best way to find somebody to get started in that relationship moving forward?
In our industry, referrals are best. I mean, the list should start and end with me because I'm always looking for more opportunity to grow my business.
Right.
And I'm always looking for more opportunity to help others.
And
Um,
I'll put your link right there so everybody can see that.
There we go. You'll see my beautiful picture there. No, I mean, look, ask for referrals. The person sitting next to you, that realtor that's, at that closing table or negotiating that deal with you right now, or even that lender that shows up to the closing table, albeit as rare as it may be, you never know when you're going to find someone that you like. But
Yeah.
ask your friends, ask your coworkers who they like using. Give me a call. I'm happy to speak with you. And even if we're not the right fit, that's okay.
Mhm.
I'm happy to point you in the direction of others that are looking as well, because you never know where that right fit is. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of finding the right person at the right time.
exactly. Exactly. And I think that's it's the toughest part about it is getting the right person at the right time, you know?
Absolutely. And you got to be persistent. Some people really like communication. When you're looking at that lender, you got to see how they communicate. Are they going to text? Are
Mm.
they going to call you? If they call you, do you want them calling you? Do you want them texting you? Are they not going to do one or the other? Are they not going to follow up? Does their company have the technology that allows you to almost be worry free?
Right.
And there's so much that goes into it that you really just have to talk to somebody. Like I said, make sure that you're a right fit and ask the questions that you had an issue with that other lender.
Mhm.
If you were unhappy with someone for some reason, then ask that lender how they'd handle that situation or how they have handled that situation.
I like that.
It's no different than asking, questions when you're talking to a client about listing their home.
Mhm.
You may not be that right fit for that realtor or for that client to list that home at that right time.
Yeah.
Just like that lender may not have the right tools that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, you probably want to make sure that they are somebody who can grow, because maybe somebody who could co-market today at $200 is not the guy who can co-market when you're doing 10 to 12 deals a month for $3,500, right?
Exactly. At Prime Lending, we're the 10th, 11th largest lender in the U.S. We close around 20 billion a year.
Yeah.
Which
Just a little.
only just a small amount, but that's only 1% of the industry. That's literally a 1% market share. The largest company, everyone knows who they are. They close around 100 billion. They only have a 5% market share. There are thousands. There's 50, 60,000 lenders out there, right? So
Mhm.
as you're talking to a large lender like myself, I have resources like a marketing team and a marketing platform where I literally have a plug and play system where if a realtor were to send me pictures, the picture of some homes, within 20 minutes, I have a flyer already ready to be sent out that can
That's
be
awesome.
uploaded onto Facebook, that could be blasted out, that we could make into a newspaper ad. I have all these tools that takes so much out of it for the realtor. I'll do the work. I just want that opportunity to write that loan.
Makes sense. And now here's an interesting question, and maybe this is me because I'm always trying to leverage. I'm always trying to get my time back. For my
Always.
closings. Um, are there loan officers, maybe people on your team or yourself, that they'll go to the closing for the agent?
I
Like
go to every
benefit.
closing in Michigan. If I can be there, if
Mhm.
it's within an hour or 2 hour drive, I'm at my closing.
Makes sense.
That's the most important part. There's, you know, you're at the closing table. You're at the 1 yard line. You got to punch that ball in over the finish line.
Yeah.
And just because your clients are at the closing table doesn't mean that I should be sitting back. I mean, listen, if if I have a bunch of pre-approvals or something else that I have to go to, obviously I always have to figure out what's the best use of my time. But
Hmm.
being at that closing table, there's just, it's satisfying for the client. It's satisfying for the realtor to know that you're there.
Hmm.
Because if something does go wrong, you're working on it. It's happening in front of them.
Yeah.
There's a sense of calmness that can still be enjoyed at the table as opposed to there being a frustration. So
Right.
whenever I can make my life easier,
Hmm.
I'm married, I have 3 boys. I need to make my life as easy as possible. And that's what I try to do. I try to make my work life as easy as possible so that when I get home, that's the hardest part of my day.
Makes sense. Makes
And
sense.
that's easy because my kids are awesome. So is my wife. So yes. So as long as work is easy, I'm a happy camper.
No, that makes sense. So I guess is there anything else that an agent should know? Hey Anthony, hey Luke, thanks guys for jumping on. Again, hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay you're watching the replay. And if you guys are enjoying this, let us know in the comments below. If you have questions, let us know in the comments below. Um, but is there anything else that we should know as agents? Maybe some quick tips that are I don't know, maybe some of your agents are using right now that are working really well to bring on more clients or more referrals by leveraging their lender yourself.
Yeah, so a few things that I like to do. Um, One, like I said, I've been doing this a really long time. I spent 12 years with a really large company that trained me incredibly well. I
Hmm.
know how to sell. I don't
Hmm.
care what it is, I can sell.
Hmm.
And if you're new to this industry and you don't understand the different selling techniques, and how to close a client, how to ask for the business, how to follow up, how to even work a lead properly,
Hmm.
I can teach you how to do that. And I'm happy to do so. I'm happy to share all of my knowledge that I've learned in trainings with anybody because as I can help someone grow and I can invest in their business, I get a great sense of gratitude of knowing that I'm just able to do that for someone and help them out and show them it's possible to do this. Um, so there are many different benefits depending on who it is at the lender that you're choosing.
Hmm.
But also, depending on that lender, they may be able to do some marketing for you. That
Hmm.
lender may be willing to share with you in cost for uh, open houses or for continuing education for other realtors within your office. There's so many different ways that you just really have to ask what that lender is willing to do
Right.
and how they want to help you. If they're just saying, I want your best clients, I want your easiest clients, and I only want so and so.
We've all had those lenders that show up at the office and they're like, "Where's my business? Send me some
Right,
business." And you're like,
right.
"I don't even know you."
They show up with donuts, and now you're supposed to
Yeah.
give them a loan. No, call me. Let me
Yeah.
show you how to talk to someone. Let me show you how to ask for the business. Let me show you how to overcome the objection.
Hmm.
Let me teach you the different types of closes that are out there, whether it be a forced choice, a slot close, a
Hmm.
takeaway. There are so many different things and different ways that people can learn and grow from other people that it's amazing. You just have to find that right person that's right for you.
Absolutely. And when you say a forced choice close, that's one of my favorites. Why don't you give us an example of a forced choice close for an agent who's watching that might not know what that is?
Sure. So when I talk about the different types of choices, right? Like a slot close would be, would you rather me show up at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. for our appointment to list your home?
Right.
Then you're giving somebody this one or this one.
Hmm.
A forced choice is, all right, it's down to two homes. Highest and best are needed right now. Is
Hmm.
it A or is it B? Like, I need this decision now. You're forcing them into a decision. Something like a takeaway would be to someone, maybe I'm not the right realtor for you. We've looked at all these homes. You haven't made a decision. I know it's tough. You're just not the right person to buy a house right now. And that's okay. When you're ready, come back and see me. Well,
Hmm.
everyone always wants what they can't have.
Yeah. Yep.
And
And
you
I've done
take
that.
that away from them. I don't have time. I'm busy.
Hmm.
You're going to have to come back to me when you're ready. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. If you're so busy, I want to work with you. I'm ready now. Let's make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
You
had that
just
with listings when you're sitting there and you just tell them, maybe this isn't the best fit because I know what you guys.
correct. It may not just be the best fit for me.
Exactly. And it's
Exactly.
like I've gotten price drops that way because they're like, let's say they're 25,000 overpriced. I'm like, guys, I only take listings that I know that I can sell. So
Right.
unfortunately, I'm probably not the right agent. And they're like, well, what if we came down 15,000? Like, would you still take it?
Well, maybe now I can sell it because I don't want this house on the market for 4 or 5 days because is priced too high.
Hmm.
I want this off the market immediately. So yeah, as the agent, too many times I talk to agents where they're like, yeah, we wanted to list this home at 235, but the
Hmm.
client wanted 249.9. And 2 weeks later, it's still on the market. They're about to drop it by $10 or $15,000 just in order to get a couple of people interested. And that looks terrible. Realtors don't want to drop that price. You
No.
want to come in where it's going to sell, be done, and move on.
Exactly. Exactly. And Evan, I just want to thank you so much for being on here, giving out all of the information. I'm going to throw your phone number up there real quick. So anybody who has questions, they can feel free to reach out to you. Is that, and it's the number off your website. Is that your
Yeah,
cell?
that's my office number.
Okay.
I believe you have my website up there.
Yep.
Feel free to put my contact information, in the link, and
Hmm.
I'm happy to speak to anybody. If anyone wants to speak with me, they want to talk about Facebook marketing, if they want to talk about Zillow or other ways that I can help them grow, I am more than happy to do so. I have the ability to do it. Just let me know. I'm here to help.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Evan. It's been a pleasure to have you on here, and I'm sure we'll get some questions in the comment later that we'll go back to.
Absolutely. Let me know what else I can do to help. But thanks for having me on, Matt. I appreciate it.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.